So I'm about to head out on this motorcycle, the CF MOTO MT Touring, to give it a real life test ride, as in a serious test ride for a potential purchase for me. So I haven't just got this bike and given a review. It's not a review. This is actually a test ride on this motorcycle. If it interests you, stay tuned. Hello, welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'm actually taking this bike out on a test ride. This bike being a CF MOTO 800 MT Touring. I would actually be interested in the Explorer, which is the top of the range one. I'll explain a little bit further as we go into this video. But I am test riding the actual Touring. I have been told by the dealer principal that this bike is no different in riding as to the actual Explorer. So why am I test riding a CF MOTO motorcycle when I already have a Triumph Tiger Rally Pro? A couple of reasons really. One being that I'm still not overly enthused with the way Triumph has recently dealt with a complaint of mine in relation to warranty. That's still burning a little bit. The customer service side of things wasn't great. I am looking actually at changing my Rally Pro to the GT Pro, so I'm very much on the fence really with Triumph at the moment. That GT Pro rides a lot smoother now, the 2024 model, than it previously did, and it definitely rides smoother than the Rally Pro. So I'm thinking of changing this bike of mine, the Rally Pro, anyhow. And I got to looking at actually this CF MOTO bike and the Touring or the Explorer, because it seems to be getting good ratings, good reviews. This is purely a test ride, so I'm not reviewing the bike. I'm just going to give you an honest opinion of what it's like to ride for the first time. I've just ridden this from the dealership, got set up with the cameras at my home and set off. So I've been riding this bike roughly half an hour now. There's some things that I do like and some things that I'm not too keen on presently. So now now you know my motivation for maybe swapping bikes over. Why the CF MOTO? This bike, and this is the Touring, has just about all the electronics has my Rally Pro. So it has cruise control, it has the shift assist, it has heated seats, heated one seat rider seat, it has heated grips, it has self-cancelling indicators, it has a nice TFT, better actually the TFT than the one on the Triumph, for looks anyhow. Look at that TFT if you can see it there. It's got quite a nice display, tells you what you need to know, nice and simple, looks nice and clean. Triumph, take heed. Although Triumph has actually improved the new 900 TFT display coming from that Tiger 1200. Also, another motivation for potentially buying one of these CF MOTO motorcycles, the MT 800 Explorer I would buy, is the price. So I've mentioned already that this Touring is actually very similar in specs as it is to my Rally Pro, and come to think of it, pretty much the GT Pro. The GT Pro, brand new, is around the 25,000 Australian dollar mark. This CF MOTO Touring is around the, I think it's around the 15,000 to 16,000 range. So a ballpark figure is $10,000 cheaper, this vehicle, this motorcycle, compared to the Rally Pro, GT Pro pretty much. So now I've had a bit of a feel for riding this manually, let's say, with no shift assist. It rides quite nice. Either way, when you're in lower speeds, so when you're in first gear and second gear, when you're just ambling along at low speeds in a car park or anything like that, the fueling isn't great. Now, a lot of this is going to be on this being a brand new bike, so it will need to run in, so that might smoothen out in time. And also CF MOTO actually have updates for the motorcycle through an app, so you don't necessarily have to go to a dealer to have updates applied to the motorcycle. You can do it yourself. But fueling is a little bit, let's try it, let's just drop down, there's not much behind me, so I'm going to go into second. This is a 50 kilometre, so speed limit along here. So look, I'm in 28 kilometers an hour and the bike's jerking a little bit. That's not labouring, that's the fueling. So it sort of bumps a little bit. And that's at 36 kilometers an hour. I'll try it again when I'm in a car park, let's say, and try that. So the general looks of this bike is quite nice as well. It's quite an appealing adventure style bike. You'll obviously see that as well. So it's got quite a lot of good things. It's got quite a lot of good things going for it. But there's nothing like actually testing it out, is this? So like I said, this is a genuine test ride. It's not a review. I'm taking this bike out for a serious consideration to actually purchase the Explore range. I have taken this motorcycle out for a 2-hour test ride, so the dealer principal was very generous in saying yes, take it for a good ride out. So cruising along up here, roughly 50 kilometers an hour, and it's decent, it's good. Fourth gear. It still, I would suggest, isn't as smooth as my Triumph when it comes to the fueling. And this is why obviously when I've got to offset, let's say, the actual price compared to how the bike rides. Let's try changing gears now with actually the shift assist. And if you see me jerking a little bit, forwards a bit, like that, that's the gear change. Again, I think, or I'd like to think, this would smoothen out as the engine smooths out. However, the shift assist going down the gears is actually very smooth. So let's just drop it down. This is from 4th into 3rd. Beautiful. You just heard a nice rev. And again, let's drop down to 2nd. See, that was really quite smooth. Up the gear, kick. So there's a kick as it goes up the gears. And I have tried so far my very best to actually try and improve that, because I'm thinking, is it user error? I don't think it is. I just think it's a little bit tight in the up gearing. I don't know why. That was shifting down from 4th to 3rd down to 2nd. Beautiful. The actual acceleration on the bike as well is lively. So when you actually want to accelerate, it's only a feather of the throttle, and it's wanting to go. By no means this is a powerful bike. It's only at 800 cc or just under. So shifted down nicely, shift down again nicely into 2nd gear. Then it's sort of, the fueling sort of ambles a little bit there. Oh, that was a big kick from 2nd to 3rd, and from 3rd to 4th. So if that is the definite, that's the way the bike is, that is a deal breaker for me. I do use, I call it shift assist coming off the Triumph. Some people call them quick shifters. You know what I mean. Taking this roundabout in 3rd, and the acceleration again, when you just hit the throttle a little bit, it's a little bit lively. Let's say it's a little bit sensitive. I've yet to go into cruise control. I've yet to go onto a higher speed road as yet. I'll do that. Maybe on the freeway. I'll try and get onto the freeway, because a test ride isn't obviously a test ride unless you get up to speed on the faster roads and see how the bike performs that way as well. So I've got another good hour yet, so I'm going to give this a good run out. Self-cancelling indicators as mentioned, but by habit I do turn them off from time to time as well. Taking that roundabout was nice and smooth. Third, fourth gear. Let's just see how it pulls along here. So that was plenty of pull for that, for me anyhow. So it's not an underperforming engine, put it that way. How do quite a few motorcyclists out today, this being a Monday actually. How do? So I'd say I'm starting to settle with the bike now. It's comfortable enough. I won't mention anything with the seats as yet, because I don't think you can say that a seat's comfortable or not within half an hour, 1 hour really. So after being 2 hours on this bike, when I actually stand off the bike, that'll be the answer to how comfortable or not comfortable the seat is. And I would say that you're sat in the bike, not on the bike, so that feels good, just like on my Triumphs. I say Triumphs, I've come from a GT Pro to Rally Pro, similar principle. You're both bikes, you're sitting in the bike. This is likewise. I don't know if you can hear the actual gear changes on the microphone, so that'd be interesting to know if it's coming through. If you hear it, that's what it is, that's the change of gears. So that quick shift is clunking still, but it's still, yeah, it's semi-smooth. I think it would take time to bed in, I think. So that change down in the gear were nice with the shift assist. This is 40 kilometers an hour, so we're in third. Let's go down to 40. And she's sitting there relatively smoothly actually. Let's accelerate to 70. Smooth enough. So this motorcycle has only done 141 kilometers, so very much a demo bike, brand new. I'll probably mention it again, but I'm 5'11", so 180 centimeters tall. I actually comfortably flat foot on this bike. This seat on here is the standard stock seat. It's not a lower seat, it's the standard one that comes on this touring range. And yeah, I flat foot. They do a higher seat as well, so anyone around the, I'd say 5'7" to 6'2" would comfortably sit on this motorcycle. It just feels to be getting a little bit smoother, that actual shift assist upwards. I mean, I must admit, the Rally Pro on slow speeds, kicking up the gears, that's smoother than this, but it ain't buttery smooth, I put it that way. So Triumph isn't seamless. Again, on the Triumph coming down the gears, that is very smooth. Likewise this is. So that comment of mine may be around all shift assists, I suppose. That set down from to second was horrible. Yeah, I'm reserving judgment actually. That felt a little bit clunky going through the gears from obviously the standstill up to speed. Turbulence wise, as I was saying, turbulence is over here. I can feel that air here over my helmet, so I'm getting no turbulence whatsoever. What's important to me as well is round here. Am I getting some turbulence here? Yes, I do. So if you're in colder climes, this is winter presently as well. If you're in colder climates, then you might want a bigger windshield just to protect you from the cold air, not all the hitting your shoulders. Oof, that went into second gear, into neutral. That tapped into neutral quite easily. Sixth gear, 101 kilometers an hour. This feels actually really smooth and comfortable at 6th gear at just over 100 kilometers an hour. It's actually quite windy today as well, as always, but I don't feel like I'm getting banged around by the wind, so decent protection off that windshield. It is set in the highest setting as well, which I have my Triumph, that's in the highest setting as well, on my Rally Pro. That's the sweet spot for me. As mentioned, 180 centimeters, 5'11". So she's sitting here nice and smooth. Let's get the cruise control on. Let's sit at 102. Not sure if it presets to that. I was 102 when I actually set that, and it's actually sitting at 99 to 100 kilometers an hour, 101, 102. The actual cruise control display is saying that it's set to 99 kilometers an hour. Now I'm not going to do obviously hours and hours of motorcycle riding on the freeway here, but so far so good. It's nice and comfortable. She's nice and balanced. So I've realised as well, just to come off the actual cruise control on this particular motorcycle, I've dipped the clutch, so you must have to just dip the clutch or hit the brake a little bit. On the Triumph you can actually push forward on the throttle, so not back, forward, as if you want to slow the bike down as such, and it comes out of cruise control that way for the Triumph. This obviously does not have that function, so to come out of cruise control, purely hitting one of the brakes or the clutch. I think the speed limit along here comes down to about an 80 kilometer. So let's see what she's like when I set it to 80 on the cruise control. Okay, she's set at 80 now. It's gone down to 78. It's weird how when you hit the button, it seems to go down a couple of kilometers to when you hit the button. So the cruise control is set to 78. You can actually tap it as well, like any other cruise control. I've clicked plus twice now. It's set to 82 kilometers, and I'm supposedly cruising at 84, 85. So she sits about 1 or 2 kilometers above the preset speed for the cruise control. Would that be annoying? I don't know. It might not. It might wind some people up, that. I'm okay with that. 6th gear, 3,500 revs, 82 kilometers an hour ish, and she's sat there comfortably fine. The dealer principal did say the windscreen does have an additional accessory if you wish to have a bigger windshield. That would be something I would purchase, really. Again, coldness on the shoulders is not good. So yeah, riding on the freeway would not be a problem. Yeah, there's definite kick when you're in lower speeds when you're doing the quick shift. Anyhow, let's take a look at the bike. Let's see how easy it is to go into neutral. I've not had a problem before. From 1st gear to neutral. 2nd. Second. Yeah, neutral is not easy to find. There we go. Fog lamps are standard. Actually, let's put the lighting display on. This is the dash. So, quite nice. Let's get the lights on. Don't know if you can see that, but those fog lights are on. Headlights. Pretty neat. Gold wheels. Bash plate. All this is standard. The bars. Let's just turn the ignition off so I don't flatten the battery. Not bad looking bike. Comes with the luggage racks as well. I think some promotions, depending where you are in the world, they either give you some soft pannier kit or a hard pannier kit. You've probably watched many other reviews in relation to this motorcycle. This is just a test ride. If you're interested in this motorcycle, you'll know the brakes, you'll know the engine being a KTM. CF MOTO have been producing KTM engines for, is it the 790 engine, for something like 15 years. So the general styling of the bike, it's not ugly. I don't mind it. This windscreen actually looks very much like the Triumph standard. I actually have a non-standard Triumph windshield on mine. I went bigger, so now it's about right for me. That's a 7-inch TFT. On the Explorer it's an 8-inch TFT with CarPlay. On the Touring, no CarPlay. USB ports too, and a 12 volt on the opposite side. There was something else which I thought I hadn't mentioned that this bike has. So no heated seat here for the passenger, heated seat here for the rider, heated grips, cruise control, shift assist, center stand, standard. So everything I've pointed out is standard on this motorcycle. There's nothing extra on this motorcycle here. It all comes as standard on the Touring. Like I mentioned, the Explorer, that has Apple CarPlay, and a couple of other things really, but the bike is very similar to this. There's a lot more safety features on the Explorer. On the Explorer it has a blind spot warning, I think, rear collision warning, also has, I think, lane assist warnings when you brake hard. I'm not sure if it does it on this bike actually. If you brake hard, the rear brake and the lights flash, the indicators flash, and it alerts on the dash as well. So overall it's a well kitted out machine. For me, can I get over the slight irregular fueling at lower speeds and the slight jerky clunking gear change with the shift assist going up the gear at lower speeds? Apart from that, so far the bike has ridden really well. Granted, I've been on the bike now about an hour. That's what I found on a couple of times coming out when it's this fueling. It seems to want to go a little bit, so I've been taking corners a little bit wide as I've been setting off. Again, that's just part of getting used to the bike as they close. The mirrors are very good. I can't say I noticed any vibrations on the freeway, and the visibility out of them is good. So there's definitely a couple of deal breakers for me. Actually, that getting into neutral was a bit of an issue. I put it into neutral earlier on this ride and it was fine, but obviously, as you saw, I did have a little bit of bother getting into neutral, which would definitely annoy me. I'll tell you one big bonus for this bike actually. It's something simple as well. Coming off a Triumph, or I have a Triumph, the odometer, see that? The odometer, top left hand corner, you know exactly how many kilometers you've done. No need for pressing buttons, which is buried in the menus for the actual odometer reading. Triumph, again, you can take from that. As for modes on this bike, it only has two, so you have sport mode and rain mode. So no road mode, just sport mode and rain mode, that's it. On that Explorer I am considering, it has 6 modes. It has sport and rain, then it has all-terrain and all-terrain pluses. So there's 4 additional all-terrain settings. I wouldn't be using that. I wouldn't be buying that bike for going off-road. I do not go off-road. It might seem a waste to some people. However, it's got some nice safety features on that bike that I would be very interested in. Plus, it has Apple CarPlay as well. So they would be the reasons for me to actually buy that Explorer. And would I consider buying it? I'm not sure. I need to have a word with the dealer principal and ask about the fueling, and also about the slight clunkiness of the shift assist going up the gears. That may be remedied by a software update. I don't know when this machine was shipped. There could well be a new update to iron things out, maybe. I'd have to ride another bike with those updates basically to see if they made a difference, assuming there's some updates for the fueling, etc. I did mention the seat earlier, and I've been on the bike a good hour, and just showing you around the bike, I did feel slightly uncomfortable. So I would assume after a couple of hours, even though the seat does feel reasonably comfortable for short durations, I think it would feel a little bit overly firm given a couple of hours or so. However, how many people ride for so long? If you're on tour, maybe. I have hit about 3, 1 definite false neutral and 2 semi-false neutrals. It's not quite gone into gear and stayed in the gear previously, and one time a definite false neutral where I hit the gear to go up with the shift assist and it actually went into neutral. So it went into neutral when I didn't want it to, and it didn't go into neutral when I did. That's something to keep an eye on it as well. So for my mind anyhow, when I take it back to the dealership, that's the 3 things I need to focus on, because they're definite deal breakers for me if they can't be smoothed or ironed out. Colour wise, as I've mentioned before, the Explorer is black or white, so that's fine by me. I'm not particularly taken by this blue colour actually, but this blue is on the touring model, this model itself. As previously mentioned, this bike apparently rides exactly the same as the Explorer having some extra features on it. Where's he going? Well, I think I've got a fair idea of how this motorcycle rides now. I've got a reasonable feel for it. I've been riding for about an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4, something like that. Alright, well, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this motorcycle test ride, then please give it a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. It's much appreciated, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.